Tonight, from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Cleveland Browns. Taken at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the Raiders getting ready to go to work for the first time, and they're led by their quarterback in his 8th season now in silver and black, Derek Carr.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he'll be pulled down as a penalty flag will rein in as well, and that would appear to be a face mask. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr. And that's caught. It's Bryan Edwards. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Purple?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
The tackle there by John Johnson.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I like to keep carrying it, thank you.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Carr. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns 16.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
The numbers for Adams in last week's game. 5 catches, 77 yards.
And that put him over 1,000 yards for the season. And the benchmark for running backs, 1,000 yards. The same for receivers. When you have that kind of a year, you've had a monster one.
2nd and 2, first down marker at the 5-yard line. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end?
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bobby Okereke coming in hard that time on the blitz, and he gets him down. It's a loss of 4. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, it was a half-dozen sacks. And here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're an offense and you saw that on tape, you got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in, keep them in, and try and protect my quarterback. It didn't work on that play.
That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. The confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. They go with Jacobs. And he's not going to get in. They stop him at the 1. The run is turned away on 4th and goal from the 2. And on the opening drive of the ball game, the defense comes up with a goal line stand. So here comes the Browns offense with a long field ahead. They'll be led by a 3-time Pro Bowler in his 5th season. It's Deshaun Watson.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
A lane opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a first after a gain of about 9.
That first down run could not have turned out worse for a defense because when they came out on the field, their #1 mission, keep them stacked up close to their goal line, and at worst, create great field position for their offense.
On 2nd down, right back to Hunt. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored. You give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so because then you turn it into a shootout. And that means your offense has to keep pace.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 48-yard line. Now Johnson. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. On this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
6 yards left on 2nd down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Darnold from the red zone now. Over the middle, complete. That's Hall. And the Browns are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
Boy, this is a well-orchestrated drive they've put together. You think back to how far they were backed up to start things out, but they've gone on a march since then, and now after that completion there, they've got a 1st and goal.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Demetric Felton, his 4th touchdown on the year, and the Browns have taken the early lead. This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. The throw over the middle, taken in.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Looking deep for Adams. And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over it, and they got there to break that one up.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play. That turns into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right. And after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. A very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Carr. And he'll go underneath here to Drake. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain. for the completion. We're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. A 55-yard attempt, normally you'd say well within his range. A little surprised he came up short.
And he knew it immediately, didn't he? They are so calibrated, aren't they? They can tell the touch, the feel. When they put the foot to the ball, whether it's going to be good or not, he knew immediately he didn't have that one.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55.
Watson's throw taken in by Cooper here.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Watson to give. This is Johnson.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw is Watson. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Max Crosby able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And that is incomplete. And down on the field, Jimmy Graham. This is where you hold your breath and hope it's not the knee again. While the traders take a look, we'll step aside. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. Throw left side here, complete to the tight end, Gesicki. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Hey, let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him, because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. On the right side, open is Gesicki. Touchdown, Browns. Mike Gesicki, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
On that 3rd down call, the goal was to get the ball to their tight end and pick up a 1st down, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. They got the 1st down. That was the gravy. He decided to take in the whole meal and rumbled in for a touchdown.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And that'll make the score 14-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession.
And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
From the 29, Carr. That's into the hands of Edwards. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. On first down, Carr. And this will be caught by Edwards. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Play action. Now it's Carr. And it's complete to Adams. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Davante Adams, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders have cut it back to within a score. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is Jakeem Grant. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Browns drive about to get started. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field stuff.
And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
This is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. DK Metcalf, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good, and it's now 21-7. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. And how does he rally the troops, so to speak? He's played well, but they're down big on the scoreboard. How does he get his guys going?
To make sure they understand it's not a me game, it's a team game. Everyone has to come together. Everyone has to up the level of play a little bit, including himself, and find a way to make some plays in order to give them a little bit of a spark and rally the team.
We'll see if they can indeed rally down big on the scoreboard right now.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Keeps himself upright. And
this will be incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They forced incompletions on first and second. Second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
This time they stay on the ground. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of first.
It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Back deep, Jakeem Grant.
Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away.
Fielded just inside the 30. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. Jakeem Grant now to return. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
He's going to have a Browns first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
That's on the Pro Bowl guard, Joe Bitonio. Now it's Watson. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
They'll run with Hunt on second down, and he'll get it down to the 47 here.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 47. They run with Hunt. They find some open field here. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Kareem Hunt hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25.
The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC.
And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Second and 11. From midfield, here's Carr. Caught on the right side by Adams. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw is Carr. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And how about this, a fake? Oh, but this is going to backfire as it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. Well, if you're ever going to try to fake punt, this would seem to be the place to do it, but it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you got to make sure you throw it to your guys and not the other team. But yes, in this spot on the field, only needing a few yards for a first, I think that decision was okay and spot on. The problem was the execution. It was not.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Jedrick Wills, former first-round pick, guilty there. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. A carry here for Hunt. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Watson's throw here taken in by Gesicki. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And that will be incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. The Raiders on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Carr. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Carr, got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
They'll run with Hunt.
89 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They run again with Hunt, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
On 1st down, Murray shedding the tackle, and he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Murray. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Latavius Murray scoring a touchdown against his former mates.
And the Browns look like they're about to put an end to their 2-game losing streak as they add on to their lead. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Extra point.
Blankenship is up and good. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. To return it, Darius Phillips. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Las Vegas's offense back out there ready to go. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat. Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Carr's throw complete here to Waller. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking deep for Adams. And this is taken in at the 5. It's a big play there for Vegas. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Let's go, baby.
So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got it first and goal as they look to punch in a late score. To throw, it's Carr. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
But you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra.
In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. Carr to throw for it on 4th down. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Boy, what a job there. 4th down that far away from the end zone just to get it in, get that done.
An unlikely result, but it occurred nonetheless. What a terrific play. Great way to finish and in the end zone.
And the defense has to be scratching their heads, right?
That's usually to their advantage. In that situation, they should be able to make a play on the ball, but instead it turned out to be a touchdown, and they've got to go figure it out on their sideline.
So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Browns are able to cover this one up. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hunt. And he'll wind up taking this all the way down to the Raiders' 5. 130 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Kareem Hunt with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. And the Browns look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. On the return, Phillips. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Out comes Devontae Adams in the offense for their next drive. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting him, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep